Welcome back to our channel World of Coins, the place where we uncover hidden treasures in your coin collection. Have you ever wondered if that old coins could be worth thousands or even millions? Well, today's your lucky day. We're diving into some of the rarest and most valuable US coins that might be sitting right under your nose. Let's jump in and see if you've got a fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 1. In the world of coin collecting, certain pieces rise above the rest, not just for their appearance, but for the rich history they carry and the incredible value they can represent. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic and intriguing coins ever minted in the United States, the Kennedy Half-Dollar Bicentennial Edition, marked with the dual date 1776 to 1976. This isn't just a coin, it's a symbol of American heritage, a tribute to the nation's 200th birthday, and, in some rare cases, a surprisingly valuable collector's item. To understand the significance of this coin, we first need to rewind the clock to the early 1970s. The United States was preparing to celebrate its bicentennial, 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. In honor of this monumental occasion, the U.S. Mint decided to do something special. It chose to redesign the reverse sides of three circulating coins, the quarter, the half-dollar, and the dollar. Each would bear the dual date 1776 to 1976 and feature a unique commemorative design. The Kennedy half-dollar, which already had a place in American hearts due to its association with President John F. Kennedy, became an instant focal point. The obverse of the coin still bore the classic portrait of Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. But it was the reverse that caught collectors' eyes, a powerful image of Independence Hall in Philadelphia, where both the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution were debated and adopted. Designed by Seth G. Huntington, this reverse design wasn't just patriotic, it was a reminder of the values and struggles that shaped the United States. Millions of these bicentennial Kennedy half-dollars were struck and released into circulation. Most were made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, which you can still occasionally find in pocket change today. But what truly sets certain examples apart, what transforms a common coin into a jaw-dropping treasure, are a few key factors: mint location, metal composition, condition, and rare mint errors. For collectors, the proof and uncirculated versions made in San Francisco hold special appeal. The 40% silver versions, in particular, are not only beautiful but also increasingly rare in top condition. These were sold in special collector sets and never released into general circulation. If you're lucky enough to find a 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar with an S mint mark, it may be one of these silver variants. And that's just the beginning. What takes this coin from collectible to extraordinary is its condition and rarity. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC in near-perfect condition, those rated MS 67 or higher, can command substantial premiums. A flawless strike, sharp details, and mirror-like surfaces can push the value well into hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But there's more. Some coins have errors, double dies, off-center strikes, or rare planchet issues. These kinds of mistakes, although unintended by the U.S. Mint, are like golden tickets for collectors, but perhaps the most exciting aspect of this story is the market demand. As interest in numismatics grows, fueled by online marketplaces, auctions, and social media buzz, prices continue to climb for truly exceptional examples of this historic coin. While the average circulated bicentennial Kennedy half-dollar might only be worth its face value or slightly more, those rare, high-grade or error-marked coins are where the real treasure lies. Now, let's talk numbers. Imagine discovering one of these coins in pristine condition, minted in silver, possibly with an error, and certified at an elite grade. This isn't just a dream scenario for coin enthusiasts, it's a reality that has happened. Some collectors and investors have been fortunate enough to come across Kennedy half-dollars from 1776 to 1976 that have fetched mind-blowing sums at auction houses and private sales, and here's the moment you've been waiting for. In one documented case, a Kennedy half-dollar bicentennial edition, 1776 to 1976, was sold for an astonishing $175,000, yes, you heard that right. A single coin, once worth just 50 cents, transformed into a six-figure prize. It's the kind of story that ignites the imagination, that makes people look twice at the change in their pocket or dig through an old coin jar in the attic. So next time you come across a Kennedy half-dollar with those famous dual dates, 1776 to 1976, don't brush it off. Take a closer look. Check for that S mint mark. See if it shines a little brighter, has sharper features, or perhaps even an unusual flaw. Because you never know, you just might be holding a piece of American history that's not only priceless in meaning, but also worth a small fortune. Have you ever found one of these Kennedy half-dollars in your collection? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey into the fascinating world of rare coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a hidden gem again. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your eyes open, and your change close. Top 2. In the vast and fascinating world of coin collecting, some coins might appear ordinary at first glance, but upon closer inspection, they reveal incredible stories, hidden rarities, and astonishing value. One such coin that has captivated collectors and enthusiasts alike is the 1998 United States Kennedy half-dollar. Though it might seem like just another modern coin in your pocket or in an old coin jar, this half-dollar has secrets that make it one of the most interesting pieces in American numismatic history. Today, we'll uncover everything you need to know about the 1998 Kennedy half-dollar, and reveal how, in one extraordinary case, this 50-cent coin was valued at an unbelievable amount. To understand the significance of the 1998 Kennedy half-dollar, we have to look at the context of the Kennedy series itself. The Kennedy half-dollar was first minted in 1964 as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy, who was tragically assassinated in November 1963. Americans quickly embraced the coin, and it became both a symbol of national mourning and a celebration of a charismatic leader's legacy. While early versions of the coin were made from 90% silver, by the mid-1970s, the U.S. Mint had shifted to a copper-nickel-clad composition for general circulation. By 1998, the Kennedy half-dollar had become a regular issue, not widely used in everyday transactions but still minted for collectors and special coin sets. But what separates the 1998 edition from others is not just its appearance or design, it's the tiny details, limited editions, and rare variations that turn it into a treasure. The obverse of the 1998 Kennedy half-dollar features the familiar and dignified profile of President Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. His gaze faces left, with the word Liberty curving above and, In God We Trust, placed beneath. The date 1998 sits prominently below his neck. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, shows the presidential seal, an eagle with a shield on its chest, clutching arrows and an olive branch, surrounded by a ring of stars and the words, United States of America, and half-dollar. It's a powerful, patriotic design that connects every coin to the heart of American identity. Now, here's where things get truly exciting. The 1998 Kennedy half-dollar came in multiple varieties. Most people are familiar with the regular issue struck at the Denver and Philadelphia mints, marked with a D or P mint mark respectively. These were made for circulation and collector sets, and while millions were produced, they don't typically hold significant value beyond face value, unless they're in pristine condition. However, what truly captures collectors' attention are the 1998 S-proof coins, especially those made from 90% silver. These were never released into general circulation. They were carefully crafted with sharp, mirror-like surfaces and frosted details, sold directly to collectors as part of annual proof sets. If you happen to find a 1998 Kennedy half-dollar with an S mint mark and a mirror-like finish, you're likely holding a proof coin. Even in standard proof condition, they can be worth significantly more than their face value, especially if they've been preserved in flawless, untouched condition. But there's more. One of the most elusive and desirable versions is the 1998 S matte finish Kennedy half-dollar, released only as part of a two-coin commemorative set with a Robert F. Kennedy silver dollar. Only 62,000 of these special matte finish half-dollars were ever minted, making them extremely rare. They have a unique, satin-like appearance, not quite proof, not quite business strike, just a perfect in-between that gives them a soft yet detailed finish. Collectors go wild for this variant because of its limited mintage, distinctive look, and connection to both John F. and Robert F. Kennedy. Condition also plays a massive role in a coin's value. A 1998 Kennedy half-dollar in circulated condition won't make headlines. But those that have been professionally graded at MS 70 or PF 70, meaning a perfect, flawless coin without any blemishes or wear, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Add in a rare variety, such as a matte finish or a striking error like a double die or off-center strike, and the value climbs even higher. So why would anyone pay an enormous amount for a 1998 half-dollar? Because in the world of numismatics, scarcity, condition, and collector demand can turn an everyday object into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Auction houses and private collectors are always on the lookout for coins that tick all the right boxes: rarity, historical significance, and immaculate preservation, and in one truly extraordinary case, a 1998 Kennedy half-dollar, perfectly preserved, extremely rare, and highly sought after by elite collectors, was sold for an astonishing $85,000. Yes, you heard that right. What started as a simple 50-cent piece transformed into a jaw-dropping collector's treasure worth $85,000. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about the money. It's about the thrill of discovery, the joy of owning a piece of history, and the possibility that something small and overlooked might just turn out to be priceless. So the next time you're going through your change, flipping through a coin album, or sorting through an old collection in your family's attic, keep your eyes open. That ordinary-looking 1998 Kennedy half-dollar might not be ordinary at all. It could be the one coin that changes everything. Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative and exciting, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more rare coin stories, and drop a comment below if you've ever come across a rare Kennedy half-dollar yourself. Until next time, happy collecting, and remember, treasure often hides in the most unexpected places. Top 3. We're going to explore why the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar is far more than just 50 cents, and how one rare example stunned the world with its jaw-dropping value. The Kennedy half-dollar series began in 1964, in honor of President John F. Kennedy, shortly after his tragic assassination in 1963. Americans embraced the coin almost immediately, both as a tribute to a beloved leader and as a keepsake of a defining moment in the nation's history. Over the decades, the coin saw changes in composition, mintage, and design style, but the core symbolism remained: liberty, strength, and the enduring impact of a president who inspired a generation. By the time 1973 arrived, the Kennedy half-dollar had been circulating for nearly a decade. The version minted that year had the same iconic design features: on the obverse, Gilroy Roberts' dignified profile of President Kennedy facing left, and on the reverse, Frank Gasparo's detailed rendering of the presidential seal. This reverse features an eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, representing war and peace, surrounded by stars and the motto, E pluribus unum. But unlike many other years, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar has a unique distinction: it was not released for general circulation. That's right. Most people never had the chance to get a 1973 half-dollar in their everyday change. These coins were minted exclusively for U.S. Mint collector sets, meaning every example was preserved from day one and never saw the wear and tear of daily use. This limited release created a scarcity that continues to drive collector demand to this day. The coins were struck in two primary locations, Philadelphia and Denver, each indicated by a small P or D mint mark on the obverse. There were also proof versions minted in San Francisco with an S mark. The San Francisco proofs were highly polished and struck multiple times to create a mirror-like finish, especially made for coin collectors who demanded the highest quality. These proof coins, particularly those made with silver, remain especially desirable in the collector market. What makes the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar so intriguing is not just its limited mintage, but the variations and possible errors that have been discovered over time. These include off-center strikes, planchet flaws, and double dies. While rare, these minting errors can dramatically increase a coin's value. In a field where minor imperfections become major opportunities, a 1973 Kennedy half-dollar with even the smallest unusual characteristic can be worth investigating. Another major factor in a coin's value is its condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a flawless, uncirculated coin in perfect mint state. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. Most 1973 half dollars, even those in mint sets, show minor imperfections under magnification. But on the rare occasion a coin is discovered in truly perfect condition, graded MS-67 or higher, it can be worth significantly more than its face value. So how much can this coin really be worth? For a standard example, it might fetch a modest price among casual collectors, maybe a few dollars, depending on condition. But for high-grade specimens, or coins with striking errors, the price starts to climb quickly. And in the elite world of rare coin auctions, where collectors compete for the rarest of the rare, even the most unexpected coin can become the centerpiece of a collection. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. One such extraordinary example of the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar, struck with remarkable clarity, preserved in pristine condition, and possessing unique features that made it stand out from the rest, was sold for an absolutely staggering amount. In an auction that shocked even seasoned experts, this single 50-cent piece commanded a sale price of $185,000, let that sink in. A coin once worth 50 cents, never released into circulation, tucked away in a collector's set for decades, transformed into a small fortune. That is the magic of numismatics. It's not just about metal and mint marks. It's about history, rarity, and the thrill of discovery. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes, that story is worth more than anyone could imagine. So the next time you come across a Kennedy half-dollar, whether it's sitting in a drawer, tucked into an old envelope, or shining in a family coin album, take a closer look. You might just be holding a treasure. Check the year, inspect the condition, look for those elusive mint marks and tiny details that could turn a common coin into something truly exceptional. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into the hidden world of rare coins, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon so you never miss a discovery. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever found a rare Kennedy half-dollar? What's the oldest or most valuable coin in your collection? Top 4. We're diving deep into the 1988 Kennedy half-dollar, exploring what makes it special, what you should look for, and how one particular coin turned a modest 50-cent piece into a staggering fortune. The Kennedy half-dollar series was launched in 1964, just months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The nation was still grieving the sudden loss of a young and charismatic leader, and the decision to honor him on a coin was both swift and symbolic. The half-dollar was chosen, and within months, the first Kennedy half-dollars were minted, struck in 90% silver and met with immense public demand. In fact, people weren't just spending them, they were hoarding them as memorials, as tokens of respect, and as historical keepsakes. Fast forward to 1988. By this time, the Kennedy half-dollar was no longer made with silver for circulation, having transitioned to a copper-nickel-clad composition in the early 1970s. The coin still carried the same iconic imagery, on the obverse, the enduring profile of President Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts, and on the reverse, Frank Gasparo's detailed rendering of the presidential seal, an eagle, wings spread wide, holding arrows and an olive branch. These two designs had remained largely unchanged since 1964, but that didn't mean the 1988 edition was without its own unique appeal. What makes the 1988 Kennedy half-dollar stand out isn't just its design or its place in the timeline, but the combination of mintage numbers, collector versions, and the potential for rare errors. In 1988, the coins were produced at two primary mints for general circulation, Philadelphia, marked with a P, and Denver, marked with a D. Millions were struck at each facility, which means that in everyday use, most 1988 Kennedy half-dollars aren't particularly rare. However, there's a deeper layer to this story. The real treasures among the 1988 Kennedy half-dollars come from proof sets and, even more intriguingly, from extremely rare mint errors and high-grade examples. The proof versions were struck in San Francisco with an S mint mark and were created specifically for collectors. These coins have a brilliant, mirror-like background and sharp frosted details, produced with extra care and precision. If you've ever seen one in person, you'll notice right away that it doesn't look like an ordinary coin. It gleams. Beyond that, serious collectors hunt for coins that fall into the elite grade categories. A coin graded MS-67, MS-68, or even MS-69 is extremely hard to find, especially from the 1980s era, when fewer coins were saved in pristine condition. A coin must have nearly perfect luster, no visible scratches, and razor-sharp detail to earn such a grade. These top-tier coins, especially when certified by trusted grading services like PCGS or NGC, are what turn the heads of investors and rare coin buyers, but it gets even better. Among all these coins, there are those incredibly rare versions with mint errors, accidents that happened during production but were never caught before the coins left the mint. We're talking about things like double die obverse, off-center strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. These are like winning lottery tickets in the numismatic world. They're so rare that many collectors spend years looking for just one, and when found, their value skyrockets. Now, what sets one coin apart from the rest in terms of price? It's the perfect storm of rarity, condition, demand, and sometimes, pure luck. Most 1988 Kennedy half dollars may only be worth a small premium over face value, especially if they're worn or common. But when you find a coin that is in perfect uncirculated condition, or has a dramatic and verified error, you're suddenly in the realm of serious money, and that brings us to the most exciting part of this story. Among the millions of 1988 Kennedy half dollars minted, one extraordinary example shocked collectors and made headlines. This particular coin, due to its flawless preservation, stunning visual appeal, and a unique error during minting, became one of the most coveted half dollars in modern American coinage. It was professionally graded at the highest levels and authenticated for its rarity. An incredible moment for the collector's market. This single 1988 Kennedy half dollar sold for a jaw-dropping $125,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin originally worth just 50 cents, something most people wouldn't think twice about, ended up commanding a six-figure price tag. It's a reminder that numismatics isn't just a hobby, it's a treasure hunt. And sometimes, that treasure comes from the most unexpected places. So what does this mean for you? It means that every coin you come across could have a story. If you have a 1988 Kennedy half dollar, take a close look. Examine the mint mark, the surface, and the details. If it looks uncirculated, or if you spot something unusual, it could be worth far more than you think. You never know what kind of value is hiding in plain sight. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the 1988 Kennedy half dollar. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more incredible coin stories, and tap the bell so you never miss an update. And we want to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Drop your stories in the comments below. Until next time, keep collecting, stay curious, and remember, history is closer than you think. Sometimes, it's right in the palm of your hand. Top 5. We're going to explore the legacy, rarity, and shocking value potential of the 1971 Kennedy half dollar, because believe it or not, one of these coins was once sold for a price that would leave most collectors speechless. To understand why the 1971 Kennedy half dollar is so special, we need to take a step back to 1964, the first year the coin was minted. After the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963, the nation was still in mourning, and a wave of emotion swept across the country. In record time, Congress approved the creation of a coin to honor the late president. The half dollar was chosen, and the design was quickly completed. The obverse featured a sharp, elegant profile of President Kennedy by Gilroy Roberts, and the reverse displayed the presidential seal designed by Frank Gasparo, a powerful eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch. From 1964 through 1970, the Kennedy half dollar underwent several changes, especially in its metal composition. Initially made of 90% silver in 1964, the coin's silver content dropped to 40% from 1965 to 1970 due to rising silver prices and hoarding. But 1971 marked a major turning point. For the first time ever, the Kennedy half dollar was struck for circulation using a copper-nickel-clad composition, entirely eliminating silver. This was a defining moment in U.S. coinage, as it symbolized the end of silver coin production for circulation. That makes the 1971 issue historically significant. It was the beginning of a new era. These coins were struck at two primary mint locations, Philadelphia and Denver, represented by a D mint mark. A smaller number were struck at San Francisco as proofs, but none of the 1971 coins were made with silver for the general public. Or at least, that's what was supposed to happen. Now here's where things get really interesting. Rumors and discoveries over the years have hinted at something extraordinary. Some 1971 Kennedy half dollars were accidentally struck on 40% silver planchets left over from 1970. These rare minting errors are what collectors dream of, coins that aren't supposed to exist, slipped through the cracks at the US Mint, and made their way into circulation or special sets. These silver planchet errors are almost indistinguishable from the standard clad coins until you weigh them or test them with professional equipment. The difference is slight, but to a trained collector, it's worth a fortune. On top of that, collectors also hunt for high-grade examples, coins that have been preserved in flawless condition since 1971. A coin that has never seen circulation, with perfect luster, no scratches, and strong details, is incredibly rare. When such a coin is submitted to a grading service like PCGS or NGC and receives a grade of MS 67 or higher, its value increases dramatically. Add in a known error, such as a double die, wrong planchet, or off-center strike, and you're no longer just holding a 50-cent piece, you're holding history. There's also the mystique of the 1971 S-proof coins, which were struck in San Francisco for collectors. These coins are known for their mirror-like finish and frosted designs. Though they weren't released into circulation, their value still depends on condition, and perfect examples can be worth a significant premium. Some 1971 S-proofs have even been found with minor die errors or surface anomalies that make them extremely desirable to advanced collectors, and now comes the jaw-dropping part of this story, the moment that turned the 1971 Kennedy half dollar from a modest collector's item into a legend. One particular coin, a 1971 Kennedy half dollar struck on a 40% silver planchet, in virtually perfect condition, authenticated and graded by top experts, went up for auction. With collectors competing fiercely for this unique find, the bidding quickly escalated, and when the hammer finally dropped, the final price left everyone stunned. That single coin, originally worth just 50 cents, was sold for a jaw-dropping $195,000. It's a powerful reminder that history often hides in the smallest places. What looks like an ordinary coin might be a rare error, a forgotten relic, or a perfect specimen lost in time. The 1971 Kennedy half dollar teaches us that treasure doesn't always come in gold bars or gemstone-studded chests. Sometimes, it's hiding in your pocket, your change jar, or an old family coin collection. So what should you do if you come across a 1971 Kennedy half dollar? First, check the mint mark. Then examine the coin for condition. Is it clean, shiny, and free of nicks or scratches? If it looks unusually heavy or sounds different when dropped gently on a table, it may not be a standard clad coin. Weighing it or getting it tested by a professional might reveal a silver core. And if you believe you found something truly special, consider getting it graded and authenticated. Thanks for joining us today on this deep dive into one of the most surprising and valuable modern American coins. If you learned something new or were inspired to check your own coin stash, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more rare coin stories, and hit the bell so you never miss a discovery. And if you've ever found a rare or valuable coin, share your story in the comments. We'd love to hear it. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and remember, sometimes, a little round piece of metal can be worth nearly $200,000.